Thank you. All right. So how many of you already think I'm an idiot? Raise your hand. It's okay, it's okay. It's all right. Good. I like honesty. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So, first of all, before I do anything, I have to just say, you are a marvelous looking group of people. I have never seen such awesome hair. You guys look great. I'm glad I have a little, but you guys have a lot, and it's great. You know, there's a lot of stuff in life that you can't control. And when you start out with hair, you're headed in the right direction. So, my name is Mark Shepard. You do not have to call me Mr. Shepard. You can call me Mark Shepard. You could call me markshepard.com. That would be cool. I have some free stuff at my website, if I gotta say it now because I forget. And I'm a storyteller, so I'm gonna tell you some stories. I'm a compulsive singer-songwriter, so I'm gonna sing you a couple of songs, and raise your hand right now if you think my songs are horrible. You already know they're horrible. Cool, cool, that's good. Not your style of music, but that's okay, because I use my guitar and my songs mostly to keep myself alive. Any of you songwriters here? Anybody rappers, songwriters, rappers? Any artists here? Do we have any artists? Do we have any athletes here? Raise your hand if you're an athlete. Cool. Okay, put your hands down. Put your hands down. All right, you guys ready? I don't have a lot of time, and I have a lot that I want to share with you. As a kid, I was bullied on my very first day of school. I was the kind of kid that I didn't know how to stand up for myself. I didn't know the social stuff that you all actually seem to know pretty well. But school was torture for me, and there were times when I didn't think that I would actually make it. And so as I kind of got through life, I noticed that something that happened in school happened everywhere. It seemed like everywhere I went, there were things in life that seemed ready to just slam me and punch my face into the ground. And I didn't know how to handle it, so I began to study and do some research. And I began to study a field that is called neurolinguistics. Has anybody heard of that before? Neurolinguistics? No? Cool. Then I can say anything I want. It's a field that's used by a lot of champion athletes to keep their head in the game, to keep their focus. It's used by a lot of corporate executives. It's used by a lot of musicians and artists. And I want to share a little of that with you today so that hopefully you can kind of take your life to the next level. But before I do that, I gotta tell you a couple of stories and why I'm doing this and why I'm here. At about, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, I learned this process called neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP. And I started helping people to overcome fears and phobias, and I had a consistent series of miracles in my private practice. To the extent where I started charging $500 an hour, and people were paying it, flying in from all over the country, and I was helping them overcome the challenges in their life. I had a corporate executive from a corporation you would have heard of, and he said, Mark, I am filled with anxiety. Every time I hang out with other corporate executives, my heart palpitates. I think I'm going to have a heart attack, because he was so anxious about that. I taught him a couple of the tools that I'm going to teach you today, and he was like, damn, I wish I'd learned this in high school. I didn't say it, he said it. I'm quoted. I don't know what words I can say or not say here, but hopefully that one's okay. So, he was the first one. Then I had another client. This is a woman who is chronically late. She was an engineer, educated at the best schools. But she was chronically late and could barely make it to work. And it turns out that as a kid, her parents started drinking, and they would start fighting. And they would fight all night, literally, and she never knew when they would burst into her room, literally tearing each other's hair out, punching and just biting each other. It was horrifying. And she told me her story, and I taught her some of these tools. And I knew I had reached her when one week she came early to her appointment, a week early to her appointment. And she said to me, "Mark, I wish I'd learned this stuff in high school." In 2008, a young man by the name of Tyler Clementi started his freshman year at Rutgers University in New Jersey. He was gay, and he was not out of the closet, and his college roommate decided it would be fun to videotape him, set up a hidden video camera in the room and broadcast his private sex life to the internet. Tyler Clementi killed himself that day. He jumped off the George Washington Bridge. You can look it up on Google. And I thought to myself that if I could have gotten to Tyler Clementi, if I could have gotten to him before that incident, he would have had some tools to manage his terror, his anger, his fear, his hurt, his shame, his humiliation before he took his life. And the other thing that I discovered with these tools and techniques is that they work for pretty much everything. Whether you have a test that you don't know if you're going to pass, whether you have a difficult conversation you're going to have with somebody, whether someone is pounding on you, teasing you, taunting you, making your life miserable, the tools work. And so I made a promise to myself in 2008 that somehow I would find a way to reach more kids in high school before they went out into the world. Because I went and saw a bullying prevention assembly at a local school. And this guy was good. Something weird's happened with the sound system. This guy was good. He spent an hour taking emotions and manipulating the emotions of the kids. I think it might be the speaker. I'm gonna just unplug this speaker here. We're gonna see if that's a little better. Check 1, 2. That's much better. Okay. So he spent an hour getting everybody to the place where they were filled with love and compassion for each other. We can do this. They were filled with love and compassion with each other, but he gave them no tools, nothing, so that the next day or the week later, they could actually guide themselves into a better place in their life. So today, I want to share a couple of these tools with you, and I know I'm going to run out of time. I literally do a 9-day training for peak performance athletes and other high performance people to teach all this stuff. So I'm not going to get to it all. However, I want to give you some of the basic tools, and if you go to markshepard.com online, there's a button that says Bullyproof Team. I have some free downloads for you and a whole course that if you need it, you can take it online in the privacy of your home. And I'm also available by email if you have questions. So I want to get started. One of the things that happened to me is that, I don't know, I started working with high school and college athletes. I worked with a figure skater who was aiming at Olympic gold. She was great in practice. But under the lights, when there were people in the stands, she got uptight, she got nervous, she couldn't do it. So I taught her these tools as well. But before I teach the tools, I gotta sing a song. And this is where I may lose you. So I wanna ask you to have an open mind and have an open ear. Because I don't know. I'm just learning how to play the guitar after 40 years here. So here it goes. This is a song that I wrote inspired by several of my clients and the stories they told me. And it's part of a musical that I've been working on. So here it goes. Plugged in. How was that? Did you enjoy that? There we go. 5 a.m. being on weekend. 6:15 I'm standing out in the rain. The bus arrives, so does the pain. Put on a mask so I don't have to explain. 6:42 I walk into the school with you. Who I really am, you don't have a clue. Sometimes I feel like my heart is full of holes, broken laces, worn down soul. If you could walk in my shoes, if you could walk in my shoes, let's hear ya. If you could walk in my shoes, you might understand why I do what I do. You might understand why I am who I am. Gotta get all up your end. 11 a.m. cat button realigned. Eating lunch alone again, trying not to lose my mind. The cheese and coffee for the way that I look. But if only you could look inside the cover of this book. You guys ready? Help me out. If you could walk in my shoes, if you could walk in my shoes, lovely. If you could walk in my shoes, you might understand why I do what I do. You might understand why I am who I am. 2 p.m. Fell asleep in math again. Teacher wakes me up and everybody laughs again. You all have fun at my expense. But what you don't understand is that I have no defenses left. If you could walk in my shoes, if you could walk in my shoes, if you could walk in my shoes, you might understand why I do what I do. You might understand why I am who I am. My parents drink sometimes and they fight all night. I can't sleep because my gut is tight. I can't remember when the good times stop. The mask is so heavy, ready to drop. Help me out. If you could walk in my shoes, yeah. If you could walk in my shoes, if you could walk in my shoes, I understand why I do what I do. I understand why I am who I am. Could you guys do me a favor? Can we do one more chorus? I want the world to hear you guys sing because you guys are awesome. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you could walk in my shoes, if you could walk in my shoes, if you could walk in my shoes, you might understand.